Hello and welcome you all to the lecture 4 on deep learning for MTech course. And today in this lecture, I am going to discuss about unsupervised learning problems and application of unsupervised learning algorithms. So in the previous lecture, in the lecture 3, I have discussed about some of the application of supervised learning problem, that is regression algorithm, and I have discussed about time series prediction. So in time series we are actually interested in knowing uh, about the prediction. Say for example, I'm interested in knowing how much rainfall will occur in a certain region, or how much a person will spend on a voice calls. And I have given you the example of classification problem. Suppose I'm interested in diagnosing illness, patients of a specific illness. So in classification problem, we have discussed the same problem, that how doctor is interested in diagnosing patients of a specific illness. So, but we have in classification algorithm, we convert uh, the input to some output. That is, output is categorical output. That is, output is 0 or 1 or true or false or yes or no. But we can use this categorical output for solving problems in regression, where if suppose I convert the input, say if the patient has some parameter which is greater than a threshold value, say 0, then the patient has a particular type of disease, and I will assign the classification as +1. And if the patient has some parameters of patient is less than a threshold value, then I will assign the classification parameter as -1. And next, moving on, what is data reduction? In data reduction, actually, I have a data set which consists of millions and millions of data, and I am not interested to give all the data to the customer. And if customer is looking for the data, then I would convert the data into a curve, and I can give the coefficient of the curve which is sufficient to represent the required data. So in that way we can reduce the data, because I'm not interested in giving all the data set which I have. And moving on, second problem is, next application is trend analysis. So in trend analysis, suppose I have developed a solution for a problem, and if I run that solution, and if that solution takes say 35 millisecond, or say it runs on one platform and it gives 35 millisecond, and if it runs on another platform and if it is giving 40 millisecond, then these differences can't say anything about the algorithm, whether the algorithm is good or bad. We cannot compare on the just minor difference of timing. So but we can take the advantage of such algorithm. And if the algorithm shows the complexity in terms of whether the complexity on the given data increases linearly, or complexity of the algorithm increases exponentially, so in that case it can give us the trend among the algorithm, whether the complexity of the algorithm is increasing linearly or whether the complexity of algorithm is increasing exponentially. So these are some of the application where we can apply the regression algorithm. And moving on, another application that is listed is risk factor analysis. So most of the organization are interested in knowing what are the important factors that contribute to some kind of disturbance. Suppose I have a network infrastructure and which is getting disturbed frequently. So I am interested in knowing what are the factors that contribute most to the that risk, that is network is getting disturbed due to some external factors. So I am interested in knowing what are the external factors that contributing most to the output. Similarly, suppose a power distribution system and power distribution system failed due to some external reason. So the company is interested in knowing what are the external factors that affect most to the disturbance of the power distribution system. So these are some of the application. Moving on, and next we come to the agenda for lecture 4, and today I will discuss about unsupervised learning problems and some of the application of unsupervised learning algorithm. So here I will give just a brief of what are unsupervised learning problems. We can have clustering problems, or we can have association rule mining problem. So these are the most important problems under unsupervised learning problems. So, as you know, as we have discussed already, in unsupervised learning problem, we are actually not interested in finding some output in response to the given input, but we have a given set of data and we are interested in finding patterns in the given data. So we are interested in actually finding the patterns in the given data, and we are actually not interested in finding some output in response to the input. So this is known as unsupervised learning problem. So I have discussed about supervised learning problem. In supervised learning problem, we have talked about experience, and in supervised learning problem, data comes with label. That is, data has some label in on x-axis and on y-axis. So, for example, we have I have a customer data and the details of the customer. So I have recorded the details of the customer who are coming to my shop. Say I know the age of customer and income level of customer, and I am interested in finding whether the customer will buy a computer or does not buy a computer. So this type of data is known as label data. So in supervised learning, the training data set has a label, whereas in unsupervised learning, the data comes as a discrete point in the input space. So that is unsupervised learning. So you can see there is no label in on x-axis and on y-axis. So this is known as unlabeled training data. So now come to what is the goal of unsupervised learning. So I have said that data comes as a discrete point in the input space, and the goal of unsupervised learning is to divide unlabeled data sets into cluster of cohesive grouping among the data. So I would like to divide the data into different categories of the data. Suppose I have a shop and I would like to know what are different types of customers who are coming to my shop. Whether the customer are young student, whether the customer are young industry professional, or whether the customer are local residents. So based on some characteristic value, I would like to divide the data into some clusters. So you can see there are 4 different types of clusters. There is these all are ellipsoid clusters, and there is a red pink cluster, there is a green cluster, there is a blue cluster, and there is a white cluster. So all these clusters represent a specific group or categories of data. Suppose I am interested in knowing whether the customer is young professional, or whether the customer is young student, or whether the customer is local resident, or whether the customer is outside from a particular region or location. So we can divide the data into number of groups depending on possible set of clusters. So as we have discussed in supervised learning problem, that how we can classify the input data, that we can classify an input data uh, into two categories, yes or no, or 0 or 1, or so on and so forth. And how basically I draw a classifier. The classifier may be a straight line which is perpendicular to x-axis and parallel to y-axis, a slanting line which is intercepting both x and y axis, and a quadratic curve which can take more than two parameter, or a spline curve which can have many number of parameter. Similarly, the type of cluster, we can decide whether it's a circular cluster, or whether it is ellipsoid, or whether so on and so forth. So now we come to some of the application of unsupervised learning problem. So I have said you all about that it can be applied to variety of problem where we are not interested in finding some output in response to the input. So for example, I have a customer data and I am interested in knowing the categories of customer, that whether young student, industry professional, and so on and so forth. So when I am interested in such type of classification, that is known as unsupervised learning. And you can see the next application is image pixels. So suppose I have a different photographs, and I am interested in different categories of information from the photograph. Say I would like to know how many number of trees there are in the photograph, how many what are the portion of the image have cloud, or what are the portion in the image have water, as you can see, or what are the portion of the image have sand, and so on and so forth. So if I am interested in finding regions of the interest from a given image, then that type of problem is also known as unsupervised learning problem. Moving on, suppose I have hundred or thousands of data, or data is nothing but simple uh, text data, and I am interested in finding the synonymous and antinomies from the given set of data, then this type of problem is also known as unsupervised learning problem. And as we have discussed in classification algorithm, that uh, uh, in sentiment analysis, I have given some set of reviews about the products or movies or music, and I am interested in knowing whether the reviews are positive, negative, or what are the positive point or negative point. Similarly, I have thousands and thousands of documents, and I am interested in knowing what are the different topics in the document. So these type of problems also comes under unsupervised learning problems. So moving on, and next in unsupervised learning problem, we have discussed the clustering problem. Next, moving on, I will discuss about association rule mining problem. And in association rule mining problem, it depends on conditional dependencies among the different set of event. Suppose I have a shop, and two customers who are frequently coming to my shop, say whenever person A comes to my shop, person B also comes to my shop, and it is if I see somewhere A in my shop, then I can predict or I can say that possibly there may be a person B also in my shop. So in association rule mining, we are interested in finding the frequent patterns among the data. Suppose I used to go to daily market, and where in the morning I buy bread, butter, egg, milk, and so on and so forth. So these are the frequent items that I usually buy from daily market, and daily market from where I buy all these items, they have recorded all my choices, and they have identified that this person always used to buy bread, butter, milk, eggs, and so on and so forth. So these are the patterns that the shopkeeper has identified from my frequent purchasing items. So in association rule mining, we are interested in finding such frequent patterns, and then I drew a relation that if a particular event A occur, then only other event B also occur. So this is known as association rule mining. So whenever I see person A in my shop, then I can predict that person B also somewhere in my shop. So finding frequent patterns using association rule mining, it can be applied to many applications such as sequencing problem or transactions problem or graph problem. So first I will discuss about sequencing problem. So frequently these type of problems are used in time series data or finding fault analysis. So in time series data, suppose I am interested in knowing the amount of rainfall at tomorrow, at a particular time at tomorrow, or what are the important factors that contribute most to the particular fault, like a fault in power distribution or fault in network supply, and so on and so forth. Transaction data. Next come to the transaction data. So I have talked about I usually go to the daily market where I buy frequent set of items, say bread, butter, milk, egg, and whenever I purchase all these items and I collect them on some bag, and when I give it to the shopkeeper, and shopkeeper identify the different set of items in my bag, and these type of items are known as transactional item, and they record all transactional item that I have uh, purchased from the shop. Next, moving on, another type of pattern finding problem is graph problem. And graph problem is frequently used in solving social network analysis. That if I am interested in knowing what are the people or what are the categories of friend of a particular person, or due to which category a particular person is connected with, or group of person are connected with a particular person, or particular person is connected with group of person. So we can use social network analysis in doing sentiment analysis, and we can use a graph to represent the relation of a person among a set of person, or set of person have a relation to a particular person. So this is known as, the type of problems are known as finding frequent patterns in the data. So I have already discussed about mining transactions, that transaction is a collection of items that bound together. So I told that I usually do go to the daily market and I purchase bread, butter, milk, eggs, and these set of items are called frequent purchased item. And if I go on next day to the same shop, then shopkeeper has identified my purchasing patterns from the data, and they can suggest me the different type of bread, butter, or milk that has newly come in the shop. So based on the items or pattern he has detected in my purchasing transactions, he can offer me some kind of offer from for the given set of product or other product, and so on and so forth. So now we come to the application of unsupervised learning, that is frequent pattern mining or frequent association rule mining. So predicting co-occurrences is one of the application where we are interested in finding, suppose we go to online shopping, and I am interested in shopping for different kind of mobile, or say particular person is interested in buying television or computer, or he is looking for a dress or other kind of item. So if I frequently searches cloths or type of cloths or type of mobiles on an online shopping website, so they identify my buying pattern, and then they can suggest me different type of mobile phone or different type of cloths that has arrived later on. And market basket analysis, I have already told, the items which I frequently bought is known as market basket item, and the shopkeeper may identify my buying pattern from the market basket data. And time series analysis, I have told about, I am interested in knowing how much I am going to spend on voice calls or telephone bills, or how much I am going to spend on buying a car or buying a computer, and so on and so forth. And what are the most important factors that contribute to a particular type of fault, in identifying particular type of fault. So these are some of the applications. Moving on, moving on. Next, we come to other machine learning paradigm, that is known as reinforcement learning. So till now, I have discussed about a popular model of machine learning like supervised learning problem, where I have discussed about classification and regression problem, and then I have discussed about unsupervised learning problem, and where I have discussed about clustering and frequent pattern mining problem. And next, uh, machine learning paradigm is that I have talked about is reinforcement learning. And reinforcement learning is neither a supervised learning problem nor a unsupervised learning problem, but it is a learning problem which is used to control the operation of uh, some items or behavior of some system. So if I am interested in controlling the behavior of a system to give some output in response to the input. So reinforcement learning, can we take some example of reinforcement learning? A popular real world example, like how one can learn riding a bicycle. So you have thought, you know about, there is a trainer who can train you how to ride car or how to ride motorcycle, but have you seen any trainer who can train you how to ride a bicycle? how to ride a bicycle. So you can learn how to ride a bicycle by just applying a trial and error mechanism. And with this mechanism, you can put, you don't know how much weight that you can put on the pedal, or at what angle you should lean on the handle of the cycle, because there is no actual mathematical formula or trainer who can say you about at what angle you have to lean on the pedal or what weight you have to put on the pedal of the cycle. But you can utilize your own skill to ride how to ride a bicycle, and while riding a bicycle you may get fell down, and you may get hurt, but you can learn that how you can turn the handle, or when you have to put a brake on the handle, or when you have to stop your cycle, and so on and so forth. So it is a learning mechanism based on trial and error, where a user in each step while applying any action, user can have a feedback, that is a positive feedback or negative feedback. If a person has applied a particular action, and if that action resulted in failure, then you may get a feedback that is negative feedback. And if you apply a particular action, and if you get positive feedback, or if you get positive result, then the system will give you a positive feedback. So reinforcement learning has many applications, and it is now nowadays it is coming up. So now I list some of the application of reinforcement learning, where we can apply, like in game playing. You have seen earlier traditional game playing system. So traditional game playing system, like backgammon, world best player, Atari game search, autonomous agent, robot navigation, adaptive control, helicopter, adaptive control in learning how to ride a helicopter. We can use reinforcement learning for solving combinatorial optimization problems, like design of VLSI circuit. It can be used for designing intelligent tutoring system based on the requirement of a user. Suppose a user is slow learner, or a user is a fast learner, so we can design a tutoring system for such kind of learner. Suppose a learner is very slower, then you need to design a tutor, or then you need to design a tutor which can tute the lesson slowly. And if it find that the user is accepting all the concept, then only it can proceed with next concept, so on and so forth. So these are some of the application of reinforcement learning. So here I will stop, and now we have finished about introduction to machine learning and other paradigms, and machine learning paradigm, that is supervised learning problem and unsupervised learning problem. So in next lecture, we will discuss about uh, some classification problem, that is I will discuss about Naive Bayesian classification problem and other classification problem. So thank you very much for listening this lecture. Thank you.